The Bureau of Governmental Research, or BGR, is a nonpartisan nonprofit that works to identify public policy problems and offer constructive solutions to make government more efficient, effective, and accountable. BGR recently studied what drives the chronic problems at the New Orleans jail, some of them dangerous and costly, which numerous reform efforts have failed to fix.
The New Orleans jail has been under federal oversight or investigation for more than 50 years.
Federal court oversight has tried to correct such chronic problems as violence, available drugs, weapons, and other contraband, plus understaffing, inadequate training, and poor sanitation. The court has linked the lack of progress in correcting the jail's unconstitutional conditions to its unusual governing structure. BGR reached a similar conclusion.
We found that the governance structure where the city primarily funds the jail and the sheriff runs it with little collaboration between the two is highly unusual and very problematic.
Louisiana law separates the sheriff from the New Orleans government, which limits the ability of the city itself to monitor and oversee what the sheriff does.
That's really at the core of what has been wrong. There's really insufficient collaboration and strategic planning to first identify the jail's needs and then to develop a plan for meeting them.
For both the city and the sheriff, BGR found there's insufficient financial accountability. The city has blamed the sheriff for mismanaging the jail, and the sheriff has blamed the city for underfunding the jail. The power struggle has impeded progress.
The city has historically tended to underfund the jail. It doesn't have a clear view always of how the sheriff uses the money.
BGR also found the system has no safeguards to ensure the appointment of an effective, well-qualified jail administrator or warden.
We were a bit surprised to learn that there had been many periods when it wasn't really even an individual with professional qualifications.
Finally, BGR's study found that once federal court monitoring ends, there will be insufficient external oversight of how the jail is performing.
The state has a limited monitoring program and doesn't mandate corrective actions.
The BGR study compared the governing structure of the New Orleans jail to 20 other peer counties across the United States. Our research reveals that the governing structure in New Orleans diverges sharply from national norms and recommended practices.
The jails in other counties are much more integrated within the county budget and auditing structure, and that provides a greater level of accountability.
Based on the findings in our Keys to the Jail report, BGR recommends that the city and the sheriff develop a multi-year agreement to establish strategic planning by collaborating on the budget, facilities, employee compensation, training, and other needs. Strengthen the process of appointing the top jail administrator by defining qualifications and responsibilities and by enabling city and public input. Create a local independent entity to monitor jail conditions and performance to ensure safety and security of inmates, staff, and the public. Improve fiscal transparency and accountability to ensure adequate funding plus careful tracking of how the sheriff uses the money to avoid waste of a surprisingly large budget item.
At roughly $60 million a year.
The jail is the third largest line item in the city's budget, behind the police department and the fire department.
To make lasting changes to the current governing structure for the New Orleans jail, BGR urges the legislature to establish the recommended reforms in state law. You can read a detailed account of our Keys to the Jail report at bgr.org.